Alright, I want to try something new. Right now, I have the mic in the car and the camera right there, outside the car. I'm going to try it out, give it a different perspective, you know, be able to get part of like driving, actual like driving, like vlog type setup, some driving footage and feel while I'm able to still talk to you guys while in the car. Even though it makes it a little bit harder considering that I am literally talking to nothing but myself. Before it's like kind of like talking to the camera, because I am, but so something new about the car is I fixed the oil leak. Let's get going. So the door's open. Whose door's open? One second. Back door might be open. Alright. So, something new about the car, which I'll show you after we go get gas. Fix the oil leak. And you might be able to tell about the exhaust. The exhaust, I did some work to too. I fixed the flex pipe and I deleted the cat in the process. Backfires a little. They've got burbles and pops now. But hoping the wind noise with the windows down aren't too much of an issue. So I fixed the flex pipe, but in the process of doing that, I deleted the cat as well because in order to take down the exhaust, I would have to take down the entire exhaust because the flange for the cat was rust welded to the other flange for the mid pipe. So I didn't want to deal with that. I cut the cat out, cut the flange off the cat, cleaned up the flange, and then redid it all. Put straight piece of pipe through instead of a catalytic converter, and new flex pipe and a couple of elbows. That car is all kinds of jacked up. But as for the oil leak, my cam gear seal was leaking, and the corners of the cam cap, like bearing cap, had RTV on it and was leaking from there as well. to the car was flashing tail lights. So my brake lights on the outside of the car, like left and right side edges of the car, those brake lights, it rapid, so it goes on, then it rapid flashes 6 times, and then it stays on. And then I also have a LED strip as my third brake light at the top of the windshield. I'll show that later too. And that is on another repeater setup, but I'm not sure if I like it. It flashes rapidly, I think about 3 times, and then it flashes slower about 3 times, and then it stays solid. Play with the Subaru. Hopefully I didn't need that receipt. And then there's a construction zone. Try to ruin all the highway fun. I actually had a friend working on this job. The oil pan needs to be done. Oil pan gasket. Probably going to get a whole new one because I put a dent in it when I hit a curb. Yeah, that wasn't good. Oh, the coilovers. Yeah. The bushings on the top hat are shot. I can pick up the coilover up and down and move it in the top hat, which isn't good. And I'm currently looking at some turbo stuff. Hey, look, there's a limo over there. You can't see, but I can. Gotta avoid all those potholes. Somebody left their gas cap up in the on the pump. That's good. We need to wear masks. Stupid. I'm gonna be going inside. That's why I need to wear a mask. It was on the pump. I'm rocking the Crocs. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go. It's so loud. Let's see if I can pick some stuff up. Make it where it won't fly away, hopefully. Lock my mask in the e-brake. Ah, sugar. Sorry. There's somebody behind me. Oh, the road's uneven. That's weird. This is gonna suck. Dunk dunk. Road's uneven, but it means that they're gonna get rid of the potholes that were on this road. Thank God. Let's see how far it goes down, because this road also had some really hardcore, like, I don't know what you want to call it, buckling. There's huge bumps, and it was crazy hard bumps, especially in a slammed car. Nope, they're not going down far enough. This is going to be rough. Okay, good. Like these things. Oh, and yeah, about my exhaust. I don't like it. But I'm not gonna mess with it neither, because goal is like, here's a buckle, like a big bump, here too. The goal is that a turbo will fix that rasp that I hate. A turbo acts like a really big muffler, and should get rid of that rasp. The catalytic converter acts like a big muffler too, so it should get taken care of. We'll also be adding a side of turbo noises, so that would be nice. And then I gotta go all the way over here, because that's a big buckle. I think they're buckles. Like, like, ouch. So yeah, I have a factory GTS, which is the coupe version of this car. It was a sport model. So it's a factory GTS not sway bar, strut bar. So we'll stiffen up the front end a little bit more. Actually, some people might say, oh, they're pointless, this and that, it's a unibody car, they're pointless. No, I mean, it actually does stiffen up the chassis. These cars, the way they have the holes drilled out for the strut bar, you actually have to pick the car up in the center cross member to get either side to flex down to get the bolt holes to meet up. So if that doesn't stiffen it, I don't know what will, but that's going to stiffen it a lot, and it will help. I don't know if you can hear that clicking noise, but that's part of the struts being broken. So I need new coilovers, but I want to get good ones, not another set of cheap ones. Whoa, phone call. Sorry about that, got a phone call. So yeah, I have that coming, and then I need struts, coilovers, I need new coilovers. And then I'm just gonna slowly work on getting all the stuff to turbo the car, and then once I get it all, I'm gonna get a daily. This way I can have this car down for a little bit while I try and do it all. But I don't want to have to rely on getting something done only in a weekend instead of being able to take my time and not rush it. Oh, you got to go first, you butthead. But the goal is, because there's because a ECU is a little above my budget. We're looking around like almost $2,000, $1,200 that I just don't have and don't know too much about, and I don't want to just chop something up quick and not know what I'm doing with it and then destroy $2,000 worth of equipment. So a guy from work is gonna possibly help me with turboing the car by using fuel by boost. So get a fuel regulator, fuel pressure regulator, there's a bad storm coming, but a fuel pressure regulator, possibly a bigger pump, and then that regulator is powered by boost. And so as boost pressure builds up, every 1 psi goes every it's a 1-to-1 ratio. For example, I don't know if it's set up like this exactly, but for every pound of boost there is equivalent amount of fuel for that boost. I don't know exactly. It says 1-to-1 ratio, which technically would be 1 psi to 1 psi, I believe, like if you were to just say to the average person. But I'm new to all this stuff, and it so like let's say the car runs off of 30 psi or something, it'll up it by another psi. So you gotta set the base. That makes sense. You gotta set the base pressure, and then it runs off of base pressure, and then as the car increases boost, so 1 psi of boost will up it 1 psi of gas. I believe that makes sense. That makes sense to me. I believe that's what it means, but we'll know when it gets there. But then my big problem is I found all this stuff to do it. I can get it turbo for pretty cheap almost anywhere, but if I go cheap turbo, you know what I mean, the eBay turbo, Amazon, max speeding rods, which are my coilovers, I can get a turbo from them. But thing that I found out is going to be a problem is finding bigger injectors. Right now, this car, I believe, only runs about 120 cc injectors, and I need around, I mean, like, I guess Hey guys, sorry about that. My camera died last night. It was about to downpour a lot, and as I was coming up the road to my house, it just turned off apparently. But just noticed something the last time I was here. That bulb's still out. I gotta do that. Might get LEDs in there, maybe. We'll see what happens. But as you can see, in the back, I got the LED taillights in with the, like I said I was going to show you, LED taillights, and there's somebody over there. LED taillight bulbs that flicker, flash and pulsate, and then I got the LED strip with the strobe controller in there. So backing in, I showed you that. But as I was saying yesterday about what injectors I need for the car, so this car has about 120 cc injectors in it, which leaves no room for boost. Fuel with boost, it'll just basically run out of fuel and just starve itself, or choke itself out. So I'm looking for around 430cc, 450cc injectors so that I have room, not using the fuel system to its full potential. This way you're not overloading everything. The 3S GTE, which is the turbocharged engine from this era, is 430cc injectors, but they're side feed injectors instead of top mount feed injectors, which this is. So I ran into a big problem of finding injectors for this car. I'm going to do a lot of digging around, talking to people that are good with these cars, and finding what works in this car. Other people have turboed this engine, this 4A FE. So technically it would be called a 4A FTE because it's turboed. If it had a supercharger, it'd be a ZE. The 4A GE, which is the engine I'd like to swap into this car after I use it as my guinea pig, is a side feed setup as well. So can't just swap the parts there like that. But everything to tune this car, like getting the front lip, which I'm getting, it's from an E36. No, E30, my bad. An E30 front lip. And what else? I just got something else. Oh, and a strut bar off of the factory GTS. The GTS came with the factory strut bar, and that's just a coupe version of this car. So any mods to this car has to be off of different cars within the same era, because manufacturers went through this thing for a certain amount of time where every car looked identical, like all of 90s, late 80s too, but all of 90s looked identical. Hondas, Toyotas, Nissan, some Audis even look similar to it. Just everything had the boxy look. So a lot of like the EKs, the EK Civics, EG Civics, they have that squared front end where with minor modifications to a, say, here, motorcycle over, but minor modifications to a front lip, I could get it to fit perfectly. Bugs here. But like, I'm also going to end up, this is another example that you get off of something else. I'm going to be end up getting rid of the rust that's in the rear. Here, 1 second. So that little speck of rust right here, and that rust right here. I'm going to be able to cut all of that out by getting these universal flares. Let me put you back up here real quick. So I can get these universal flares. I have it set to flare out about 2 inches, 2 more inches wider. This is currently rolled, and you can see, you can't see right now, but you can see where it's been rolled. So I'll be able to cut the fenders off completely, weld on these 2-inch fender flares, get 2 inches out further. That'll give me room to run either a bigger spacer or a bigger offset wheel. A bigger wheel, so instead of a 14, I can run a 15 with a fatter tire too, so I'll get better grip and handling. And a lower profile tire as well, without having to worry about hitting the struts. A steering wheel. Steering wheel is pretty universal. Racing wheels, there's always, you gotta use one that fits most, you know. But the wheel I want for this is actually off of like a RAV4 and like a Toyota Matrix and some other Corollas that had it. Or I don't know what happened there. It must have thought I told it to turn off. But so yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that that's what I was in the middle of saying yesterday before I almost got downpoured on. And that car you may hear in the background is the Civic. Girlfriend's on her way home. She's going up the hill. Whoa! I don't know which one you hear more, the plane, because the airfield's right there, or the Civic. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know that's what I was talking about. I need bigger CC injectors for this thing in order to finish turboing it once I get everything for it. That's kind of what the goal is for everything right now. I know I suck at freaking documenting everything, but if you really want, I'll record putting in a new bulb in this corner light if you want. I know I suck that bad, but car's running great. Oil leak seems to be handled. Power steering pump is leaking. I don't know what part of it exactly. I know there's a bypass valve that could be messed up and causing it to overflow itself and pour out the cap. So currently running it without power steering, but in all, I'm basically making it run perfect again. No oil leaks wise. I need to do an oil pan. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. Today this is the day after what you saw earlier. But I just put a new fender and door on the Civic. It's actually silver now instead of the red, so that's going to get painted at some point. This is going to get painted at some point after I get the flares done. Things coming up next soon. The strut bar, putting that on, and going to probably going to end up mocking up some fender flares. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I see you guys in the next one.